Hey, good morning, folks. Welcome to your boy Jake Webber YouTube channel. So, after 20 years of being legally married, with all the ups and downs, I finally decided to come out here and give some inspirational encouragement to some people who may think that marriage is all that bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not for everybody, it's not good for everybody. And it's not one bullet fit all. It's not all size fit all. What works for me may not work for you. And what I like, you may not like. What I take, you may not take. So, but one thing you need to understand here is this pretty simple. Marriage has a principle that you need to understand. Marriage is 1 plus 1 equal 1. Now, the reality is this math doesn't make sense. Okay? It doesn't make sense. Mathematically, it doesn't make sense. Economically, it doesn't make sense. Physically, morally, it doesn't make sense. You understand? Socially, it doesn't make sense. If you took this 1 plus 1 math to economics, let's say you are a danger to the country or company financial, growth. Because there's no way you're going to tell anybody 1 plus 1 equal 1. It's not possible. If you went to an accounting, they're going to say you're trying to steal their money because 1 plus 1 does not equal 1. It's 2. And if you take this math to chemists, then they're going to tell you the formula will not work in anything. Because 1 plus 1 is not 1. And you go again to the technology side and to the network technician at 1 plus 1 equal 1 when you're telling him to increase the bandwidth of certain customer network and you're telling him 1 gigabyte plus 1 gigabyte must equal 1 gigabyte. It's not possible. It's going to be 2 gigabytes. It cannot be 1. So you see, the 1 plus 1 math does not make sense in any category, logically, physically. It doesn't make sense. But do you know why it makes sense? It makes sense spiritually. Spiritually, the 1 plus 1 makes sense because biblically, 1 plus 1 is 1. That is only applies to marriage. You and your spouse are one. Once you start to have a math in your home, in your relationship, in your dating, whatever you have, and you having to have 1 plus 1 equal 2, you have a problem already. It's not going to work out. Now, I see many people in the relationship, they say that, oh, my car, my TV, my salary, my this. My friend, when you are married, your salary become our salary. Mine become our salary. My car is our car. Your car is our car. Do you know why? Just because you drive it frequently does not mean that it only belongs to you. Just because you are the one that put on the money does not mean that it only belongs to you. That's why it's called marriage. What for you, for me. You know what I'm saying? What is for you is for me. There should be no reason why anybody should be in a relationship and say, oh, this is my car, this is my this is my dad, this is yours, that is yours. I understand now we live in a country where we follow so much Hollywood movies. We do things that celebrities do. Now, these are people that probably got their wealth before they get married. But now you poor little boy, poor little girl want to get married to somebody and right away you want to start claiming property when you were both supposed to be working together, making life for yourself. You understand? So I wanted to give you some little advice. Being married, take courage. One, you have to be selfless. It can all be about you. That time you have to spend your last dollar for your friend, for their connection, for their family, for somebody else behind you or connected to you. You have to spend it. You have to be selfless. Sometimes it's not easy, but once you decide to make life with somebody, that person's family becomes your family. Your family becomes the person's family. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. When something happens out there to that person connections, it becomes your part of affection. It becomes your part of responsibility. It's not just one person. So it's not be that, oh, that is his, that is hers. It has nothing to do with me. So we need to start understanding, and as married couple, we need to start to be the role model that will encourage other people that they may want to get married someday. You understand? I had a story where I had this friend. He look at me, follow my trend, my timeline, and he called me one day and said, look, I was once divorced. I didn't want to get married anymore. But anytime I see you and your wife together, I feel like getting married again. You see, a married couple is supposed to be a role model to the community. A married woman must be a role model to the young ones. A married man must be seen as a role model to somebody else who wants to get into it. It shouldn't all be seen as the negative thing that ever happened in anybody's life. Some of us live life as married people that people look at as be like, oh, if that's the reason I don't want to be married anymore. But see how she married, she like this, she like that, she don't want, she this one. He married, he didn't want, he didn't want, he not want. I don't want to be married. That is not how it's supposed to be. It's like being a Christian. You want to go to church on Sunday, okay? But you want to tell somebody about Christianity. You go to church on Sunday, you don't even do what the Bible says. You don't follow any of the commandments, but you say somebody should go to church. What is going there for? They should listen to you and go to church. You expect them to believe that? So that's how marriage works. Be a role model to somebody. Now, let me give you a personal story here. As they say, children see and grow up with things. Some of them will grow up to imitate somebody that they see as a role model. It may be their own parents. It may not be their own parents. It could be their connection. It could be somebody random in the community that child just admire and wants to grow up to become like that person and want to do things that person does. That's the mindset. You may not even know it. And that's why we, as the hair, must be very careful what we do, what we allow our children to see, what we allow our community to know, and other stuff. You should be a role model that somebody wants to follow your footsteps. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do, there's somebody watching you that want to be like you. And I can tell you, my own story here is that my mom and my dad were married throughout. They never divorced until they both died. You know, I saw that. But guess who I used to admire? My uncle, the late Reverend William T. Davis. My uncle. One thing I admire about my uncle, now he's a Reverend, right? Yeah, but guess what? I didn't copy that aspect of him being Reverend. I could have followed that footstep and said I want to be a Reverend, right? But I admire something about him. That thing was, wherever he went, he took his wife with him. Wherever he traveled to, he took his wife with him. The only time I saw my uncle travel, he didn't bring a wife. And when he was coming to America, because probably visa was not available for the two of them. That was the only time. And as a child, I saw this and said, look, when I get married, I want to travel the world with my wife. So it's something that I built up in me as a passion. So when you see me hopping on a plane, going for vacation and doing other stuff, it's something that I grew up mentally wanted to do. And God has facilitated that to happen for me. And he gives me a wife who loves to travel as well, doesn't complain. So when I'm traveling, I want my wife to travel with me. I know for the most part. Oh, yes. So as I was saying, My uncle traveled every time with his wife. And as a child, I saw this as something that I want to do when I grow up. I admire it so much. So whatever you see me doing today, I didn't just wake up, come to America, and start doing it. It was a built-in passion that I grew up with. I wanted to do. You know, another thing you have to look at when making a choice, you want to be able when you're dating somebody to know their level of affection for family values. The level of affection for family values. Some people will tell you upfront, oh, my family are crackhead. I don't want to deal with them. Oh, you think yours will not be crackhead to them tomorrow? Is that what you believe? Be careful. When you want to date somebody who you really want to spend your life with, listen to what they say when you're having conversation. Listen to what they say when you go on a date. Everything is not about this. It's not about big yansh. It's not about beautiful face. Character matters. Okay? Many men die today in the marriages because the thing is that there are some things that happen in a marriage, men will not say it. Men will not say it. Some people are suffocated by their wives, but they will not say nothing. Some will get tired and walk away. You know. So when you are starting, that's a crucial point. Very crucial time for you to be able to identify and understand who is it that you want to go spend your life with. It starts with your family, with their family. How well do they enter out with their family? Are they willing to listen? Can they incorporate your problem and their problems? Some people, it should only be about them, only their family. They don't care about yours. How it's going to work? It will not work. You know? So as a married people, we have to serve as a role model. Now, let me be honest here. I'm not a saint. I have my flaws. I got my trouble. But I can tell you, I'm one in 1,000 you can find. My family values come first. I don't compromise my family, my relationship for anything. You understand? I have friends, I respect them. I love them. You understand? I have connections, but my family first. That's it. And I want everybody to apply these principles as well. Today, marriage is like almost non-existent. Everybody don't want to get married anymore. Either they want to use you and get away, or be used by somebody. That's the role model now we have. Everybody in it for something. And you have to understand, marriage is for better and for worse. And I always tell people, when they say better, some people argue the point that you can get married at any given time. That's your opinion. I'm not going to argue that. You can get married at any given time. That means whether you 45, you 65, you 75, you can get married when you want to get married. Yes, you can do that. Some of us see marriage as in a normal society. Once you graduate college, you start to build your life. Unfortunately, some of us, we came up doing all time. All time means our age was not in line with the educational curriculum where you will be in 18 years, 17 years, graduate high school, and by 2024 you graduate college with your first degree and all of that. It didn't happen for many of us. However, you still have to understand, when you hit 25 as a man, you need to start thinking who you want to spend your life with. Because what marriage is for better and for worse. Keep in mind, the better is when the two of you meet in your prime, your young days. You're having all the fun, all the fire blazing. Everything is moving fresh. That's the better. It's not always the money you put to the table. It's not always a fancy job you have. It's not always a luxury car you drive. But the prime time you have together, growing up, you learn to tolerate each other's faults. You get to understand one another until you hit your 30, late 30s, 40s, 50s. At the time, you start to break in some little high blood pressure here, this one, that one, and other stuff. You now start taking medication bags around with you and all of these things. So remember, once you hit your 40s, 50s, my friend, you are no longer bringing your better to anybody. Let me be honest with you. You are not bringing your better to anybody. Because one way or the other, health crisis is going to hit anytime soon. Okay? Your energy starts to slow down gradually. You no longer have passion for certain things. Okay? So, marriage has to do with being able to make a decision in your young age and have somebody to spend your life with. Don't be the one that everybody feeling your juice. Everybody feeling your juice. You're 45, you're 50. Then you want somebody on an innocent child who is maybe 25, 20 to come and marry to you and be happy. And be happy. To just be the most happy man on the planet. It's not going to happen, my friend. You don't have to like me for this video. It will not happen. You will have problem one way or the other. Because this guy is still young. His brain is thinking something else. And you thinking, oh, why he can't be responsible? No, he's probably not ready for responsibility. You should have made your choice when you were younger. To be compatible in your age. That's the way it works. Okay? Now, my topic 2 would be on women who has passed marriage age but yet want to be married and be happy. I will get to that sometime. But I'm going to close my video to let you know here that being a role model as a marriage person is crucial. Sometimes people look up to you that you don't expect to be looking at you. If you want to be the B-sister in the community who flipping all the men, trust me, there was a little girl somewhere watching you that wants to do the same. And certainly she will grow up to do the same thing. If you want to be the big brother somewhere in the community who flipping all the girls in the community, there are a bunch of boys that are observing you that want to do the same thing. Now, ain't nothing wrong with, being a playboy. But at a certain time, you have to have your area. Like some of us, like me, I always like to be the captain of my ship. From way back, my taboo days, my friends that know me, they always tell you that Jake girlfriend right there. It was never in hating. I always had my ship, and I was the captain. Now, I can't say I'm the only person the person was seeing, but I know I'm the head of everything that happened. You know what I mean? So that's the type of person I am. Some people see me as, oh, you probably like to be married. But I already have a mindset. I want to have a friend that people will see me with. Friend that will be proud to move around with. Friend that will call my own. Friend that will be there for me. I will be there for them. That was my mindset. You couldn't change it. You understand? Other people had a mindset to just go and play game and leave. So in the end, they use these girls and these women and then dump them for somebody to come and take the broken pieces and put it together. You understand? So folks, I want to close here by saying marriage is not all bitter and it's not all honey. It's not all gold, not diamond. It's not all honey and milk. It has its up and down. But Being in it and serving as a role model for somebody to join the society is crucial. This is where 1 plus 1 comes in as 1. When your 1 plus 1 equal 2, you have issues to deal with. So I want to close here to say, welcome to your boy Jake Weber YouTube channel, and I hope you subscribe. Hereafter, there are going to be a lot of marital advice and other stuff. My next topic will be marriage counseling. Who you should go to, who you shouldn't go to, who you should listen to in your marital affairs, and who you should not listen to. So, ciao.